How can you explain your work when you have to explain it to stakeholders who don't care about the algorithms, they don't care about the math, they don't care about any technical stuff, they just care about the result. But the problem is that your work consists of that very technical stuff, of those methods, of those optimizations, of those algorithms and so on. But turns out they don't really care about that. They just want to see the end thing. But your work is so much more. So what should we do in these cases? And this is actually a very, very common situation for people to be in because, let's face it, nowadays we work a lot in interdisciplinary teams. We work with people who are from very, very different branches, from very, very different fields, and it makes sense that all of us sort of care about a different thing. But this has, the downside of this is actually we have to sort of be really careful when we explain our work if we want our work to be recognized by the importance it has, and also to make sure that people actually understand what we did, which is already a challenge when we are speaking about STEM disciplines. So if you are a scientist, developer, data scientist, mathematician, it's very hard for people to actually understand what is it that you do. And the problem and the thing that people try to do to solve that problem is to explain all the technical details about their work, right? Because our work isn't about the result that we got, right? We got an algorithm that does this and that, but that's not the work that we did. That's just the result of our work. So how can we make sure that people actually understand the entire path, but without overwhelming them? And the thing that usually happens in order for STEM professionals to prove how their work and how their logic was while performing the task, they tend to share these technical details and explain every single algorithm, every single protocol, every single jargonic little thing that you could think of in order to sort of prove their worth and their work, right? But this isn't a good strategy. First of all, because people rarely understand what is it that you do anyways. So imagine if you sprinkle even more jargon, if you throw even more jargon at them, this is not going to end up in a good way. This is the first thing. And the other thing, because people don't honestly care, right? Especially if you are, imagine you are a team lead or you are a stakeholder, like you don't care about these technicalities. What you really care about is the end result and why is that important for them or why is that good for them, right? So we have to find a way to make them see why our work is actually a pivotal piece in reaching that result. And that's the catch. Here's the catch, and here is where so many people get it wrong, because let's face it, as STEM professionals, we weren't trained to think that way, right? We were trained to think in sort of this paradigm of problem solution, right? Cause consequence. And this is how we explain our work. If you try and follow STEM professionals, how they explain their work, they tend to explain this very linear way, right? This happened and this is how we solved it. However, the vast majority of people who are not trained in STEM disciplines, they really don't think that way. What they think about is consequence and impact, right? They are much more interested in how does that work impact them or their work specifically. So this is what we need to bring forward. This is the skill that we need to develop. We need to understand how can we explain our entire work and our protocols and design and hypothesis testing and everything, you name it, everything that we did, but in a way that speaks impact to those people. That's the skill that you have to learn. And the good news is, when you learn that skill, when you develop that skill, it sort of becomes so effortless to speak to everyone and explain your work to everyone, because you know what is it they are expecting, and you are trained to shift the paradigm and to really, instead of explaining this sort of cause and consequence right situation, linear situation, you explain it in a way that you only speak impact. Like you say something and then you say, and this is why it matters. You say another thing and this is why it matters. You say another thing and this is why it matters. So you sort of rewire your brain to make it so easy for you. And of course, it's a skill that requires practice, as any skill, but when you develop it, it becomes not only effortless to share your work, even if you're an introvert, even if you are, I don't know, you don't like to be on the spot in the spotlight, it doesn't matter, because you have this ability to speak in a way everyone understands you, whether it's written format, speaking, meetings, presentations, whatever. And the other good thing is that it actually saves you time to learn that, right? Why? Because you do not have those situations where you are staring at blank slides, staring at blank screens, not knowing where to even start from when you have to explain something. We have all been in that situation where we have to write a report or prepare a presentation, and then you're like, okay, how do I even start? What do I even say? Like, how do I put all of those things and thoughts and ideas onto the paper or into the slides in a way that makes sense? So that's the, like, building that architecture behind it is what it's really all about. When we develop that skill, we become really, really fast in delivering this specific things, complex thing, very jargonic pieces of our work in a way that everyone can understand, and not only that, in a way that they can see the impact and recognize us as the person or as the people who actually made that happen, which is also very, very important if you are looking for a career, a progress, a promotion, or funding, if you're pitching for funding for your project. Having said that, I want to say that this is exactly what I teach in my coaching program. So I work with STEM professionals, whether you are a scientist, data scientist, developer, engineer, you name it. We can work together and really make sure that you stop being the expert in the background and start feeling visible, start feeling recognized, and being recognized, and of course then have the career progress and the promotion that you want in a way that feels comfortable for you and it feels good for you, because you are recognized for your work, you are paid for your work, and so I hope that you also like what you do. So I feel this is sort of the holy grail, right, of life, of the work life that you want. If you like what you do and you're being recognized for your work, I feel this is what we are all heading to. So having said that, I will leave a link down below in the description where you can schedule a completely free discovery call with me, where we can talk about your specific challenges, your specific struggles when it comes to STEM career and communication, and of course see if we are a good fit to work together. Thank you so much for watching this, and see you next time in another video. Bye bye.